Thank you for coming to this year's Annual General Assembly, Alexander. We're really glad about your keynote presentation. First and foremost, what do you think are the key geopolitical forces driving the current upheaval in food and agriculture, and why must donors pay attention now more than ever?
We are currently experiencing a situation where the world order as we know it, as it has been established after the fall of the Iron Curtain in Europe, is disappearing. We are at the beginning of a new global world order in the middle of a world disorder. And the concerns about security, the war in Ukraine, dominates the agenda. And at this time, we from the food and agriculture community have to demonstrate that we are part of the solution. Food and agriculture is needed to stabilize and to develop a new world order. This is challenging because we are normally not considered being one of the big players, but we have a lot to offer.
What do you see as the most important strategic priorities for strengthening agri-food systems in the years ahead? What are we supposed to do to make sure that this sector emerges more?
Currently, our sector is a victim of the new geopolitical order. Funding for food and agriculture has decreased, and it will continue to decrease. And therefore, I think we have to do three steps. First, we have to analyze what are our success stories over the last 10 years, where did we not deliver, and second, what is our potential to stabilize the world? And here, I'm convinced we have to move out of our silos, we have to invite new partners, and we have to be very strategic. My dream, Mauricio, is that in 6 months' time, people from the security community, from the health sector, from finance are coming to you, Mauricio, and say, we need your help. Because finally we have realized you have a lot to offer and you can be part of the solution.
Thank you very
And
much.
the third thing is, I think we have to be really strategic. It doesn't help to say, let's replace the declining ODA by private sector money. We have to have a coherent idea of how investments work, where we need ODA, for example, to de-risk loans, and where the private sector can play a role. I think in the end, we need a combination of food security diplomacy and a new investment understanding for food and agriculture.
Alexander, I'm going to ask you a question really specific to your point that you raised. Even though the current geopolitical context is what it is, we're seeing there are new initiatives emerging, and some of them were also showcased today. AgriConnect from the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank committing 40 billion from now to 2030. Do you think that this may represent the seeds of what you're saying, or is it still something that is far from your vision?
You might be right that these are the seeds. But we know that it takes a long time from bringing the seeds into the ground and the harvest. And the critical time is beginning now, because I think that new initiatives alone will not be enough. We have to change the mindset. Until yesterday, we have been perceived as the guys who are spending money and nothing is really changing. The number of hungry people is since 10 years around the same. From tomorrow onwards, I think we have to be seen that the seeds you have mentioned and our food security diplomacy is contributing to find solutions in a very difficult time. One example, what is happening in Ukraine after maybe a peace deal is negotiated? Will Ukraine remain the number one exporter of commodities to Africa? And we know how vulnerable are some African countries. They are depending on these commodities. What is the role of investment in the future of agriculture when there is a risk that global trade can get smaller or collapse? So we have to be risk-oriented and we have to be open-minded and we need new friends.
Thanks very much. And what do you think the value would lie with the donor platform informal donor coordination space offering in today's unpredictable and rapidly changing environment? What should we do as an informal network and platform?
First, don't underestimate how other people are looking at you. They perceive you as a powerful player. You are coordinating the real big donors in the sector of food and agriculture and development cooperation. even if you don't make the decisions yourself. If you are able to launch a debate with the donors, what is the way forward? If you are able to invite the banks, private sector, and DFIs, then you have a convening power. And therefore, people are looking at you. And if you tell the story, more investment is needed. People will ask you how to do it. And then you have to have an answer.
Thanks very much, Alexander Müller. It was really a pleasure to interview you.
And maybe my key sentence is, cutting support for investments in food and agriculture might be the most expensive way to save money.